recording? Yes, that's right. Hello guys, this is Lunatic Gaming here. And this has to be one of the closest games that I never got to record because Shadowplay decided that during the game it wasn't going to work. So I had to basically shut it off and turn it back on or so, to put it simply. But Shadowplay is working, as you can see. So here is a very, very close game, so a nice comeback on my part, basically. What we have here is a situation where me, a Panzer Grenadier Division, and a SS Panzer Division are going up against an American Armored Division and a American Infantry Division. Now, I have to say, it did become a murder mill in the middle here, so at least for me, initially. This is where the tides kind of went against me. I was unable to set up a fast enough defense position and rushed headlong into a trap. He only has numerous close quarter specialists in the area, and my Panzer Group in fear, so he decided that it would be a good idea to be in the open. So I meant to set up a defensive line here, but I guess I underestimated my ability to attack or my ability to basically rush into the middle of the town. So as far as this will be a gigantic slaughter for my forces. Immediately my leader unit is destroyed, my SS forces are systematically destroyed by his rifle assault forces, basically. And I had a chance to hold this position, so a small chance at best, but after suppressing his forces, I made the bold decision to try and advance and take over these pinned down forces. Little did I know that there was a rifle leader right here, so they would not surrender, and I just exposed all my guys to getting flamed and getting wiped out. So 5 minutes into the game, I've already lost all my infantry forces, basically. My guy on the right side, he was actually doing a good job, so just holding the line here against the enemy, really. So initially, my assault fails. I tried to set up more defense positions, but they get wiped out. I lose a mortar team. And I realized very quickly that if I want any chance to make any type of counterattack, I'm going to have to stop attacking and set up a defensive line. Thus, that is what I tried to do. I started calling in infantry forces to help support my line. I realized that this M7DD is going to be a pain in the rear end if I don't destroy it, so I call in a anti-tank Pak 38 50mm to engage and attack it. He could have escaped, but he decided to try and engage, and that cost them that vehicle. So now we're on even terms. We only have infantry and mortars. With a defensive position here, I shouldn't be able to get attacked, and I also have a good amount of artillery support, which I do call in, basically. My objective now is to hold out in this A phase here. I get recon, I get another support mortar vehicle, and my primary goal is basically to start hitting his positions with artillery strikes, softening him up so when we get to the B phase, I can begin my assault. I call in a barrage, basically. Doesn't really kill anything, but it does destroy a good amount of his buildings here. My goal is to try and destroy as many of these buildings as I can, simply because... Oh, and this is what happens. My ally here is getting impatient with me. He's like, oh, attack here, and I can understand his impatience. I messed up pretty badly initially. But I'm like, hold on. Well, I don't say that right now, so I don't say anything. I'm just kind of frustrated with the fact that I could lose so many forces so quickly. This guy gets murdered by the Marauders. Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. He tries to move with these 2 tanks here in order to split our forces in half. Me and my teammate immediately see this threat He calls in, I don't know, I think it's a Pack 50, or is it a Pack 75? I can't remember. It's a Pack 38, 50mm. And I call in a Stug 3. His Pack 38 kills this one, and my Stug manages to kill this guy here. So he's down 2 more vehicles. So things are not looking good for him, as his offensive capabilities are being halved each time. He sends in another DD. That gets destroyed. Literally right next to the last one. You'd think he would get the message. And here, this is when I start telling my guy, soon, I'm going to flatten the area. Because the reason why I like the Panzer Grenadiers so much is the fact that they get pretty good multiple rocket systems or so, basically. The Nebelwerfers. Okay, so, no. Pause. I push space instead of pushing the pause button. The Nebelwerfers here, each one has 6 rounds, and each shell does 30 HE or so. Which means that a barrage is literally very good at flattening positions. Immediately kill his mortar and his rifle leader here, and I flatten the entire area. I know that if I get into close quarters with him, that's going to slow down my assault, so I immediately just start flattening the area with artillery, destroying as many buildings as I can, hitting potential targets, and once he's weakened, that's when I start my initial assault. He unfortunately catches wind of this, and has a rocket system ready to attack my forces. Immediately those forces are annihilated by the rockets. But that is why you launch waves. That forces the enemy to use their main forces to either attack your attacking forces outright with the artillery, or to wait until the main assault begins. But they don't know that that is, you know, a secondary assault or so, or the main assault. They don't know what reinforcements I'm calling in. Thus, I can quickly use this advantage to split my forces and make it so it's harder for his rocket artillery to get me in one foul swoop. I use my Panzer Grenadiers here to immediately suppress that force, and immediately I continue my advance here. At this point, I only have an actually he has an interceptor out there. I think I called an interceptor to help him out later on in game, basically. I'll start slowing it down to 2 times. Anywho, I start probing his defenses, finding out where his forces are, as well as finding out where to use my superior artillery. Start immediately engaging his forces, shelling his mortars when he starts to use them. He starts immediately calling in huge swaths of reinforcements, tanks, the howitzer. My response is simply to continue shelling his positions with the Nebelwerfers. So, see, I don't know exactly where his major concentrations are, but I know where he's most likely going to have forces. So I start shelling these areas here and here, because they're the most likely areas that he's going to send his forces. And they turn out to be good calls on my part. Start immediately wiping out his reinforcements and pinning them down, keeping them out of action. He's getting frustrated. He sends up his tanks here in order to counterattack and attack my infantry here. But surprise, surprise, I have a Ju-87 with 2 37mm cannons of death and mayhem. I immediately send it in, and I managed to kill both of them in one foul swoop. Pretty nice. His assault is stopped dead in its tracks. Because he has absolutely no anti-air, he wasn't expecting such a strong anti-tank force, basically. So the assault is going well. We've managed to push him completely, well, not completely, but mainly out of the area. So he immediately shells this area here with the rocket artillery, but he doesn't crack fire due to my troops moving up. On top of that, he's not keeping track of when his units can actually fire, so when they've reloaded or not. It starts randomly shelling areas, so what he thinks I'm going to be. Now my song is going well. We've pushed way into the factory here. We just need to secure the outskirts here, here, and here, and the entire position is ours. He knows this, so he starts sending reinforcements to hold on to this farm area here. As well as he does some... he tries to use this to suppress my forces. It doesn't go well. He uses a single rocket artillery barrage to try and kill this one guy here. He's getting pretty desperate at this point, so... I won't lie, so if I was in his situation, I would kind of be pretty shocked at how quickly I lost all my territory. So, my now initial target is to bombard this area here, as well as to bombard this area here, as I know that he has a bunch of units here that I need to kill, basically, if I want to ever be able to push up. He starts shelling his supply area. He decided to clump up all his artillery into one spot for some bizarre reason or so. I don't know why my ally thought that that was a good idea. He could have easily got intercepted, but luckily he didn't have any aircraft to use on the spot. He starts trying to supply his rocket artillery so he can continue using it. Due to the nature of my artillery, so I'm not able to handle some of the tactical threats as quickly as I would like. For example, so this HMG proves to be a pain in the neck for some time, as well as this AT gun here prevents me from sending any heavy armor support to help the advance, because what he's trying to do is he's trying to break back in. So that's what he's trying to do. And the best way to prevent him from doing that is to continue putting on the pressure and to hold the territory that we already have. He sends up huge amounts of half-tracks that don't manage to really suppress my... oh. That was nice. I actually managed to get his howitzer and mortar through as well. So his artillery is, his single barrel artillery is down to 0. The only thing he has left is this Calliope right now. So, and I think he might have others in reserve, but he's going to have to use points to call it in or suffice him to just resupply it. So I have a pretty good advantage at this point. I send in a Panzer leader so to assist with this assault here. My infantry here are quickly suppressed by the 76mm cannon. I asked my teammate if he's happy with the fact that I finally took the entire town in one foul swoop. I realized that this is going to be a hard position to take, and I think I either call in a rocket attack or I call in a Ju-88 to attack it. I also noticed that he's setting up tanks up here, so I immediately start trying to delay his attack as long as possible. Here comes the rocket barrage. Takes out everything. These rifles went 2 rifle guys, so his attack fails, and his last hope of holding on to the area is these last 3 infantry forces here. And also the huge amount of half-tracks that he has over here defending it. I don't want to push up with the tank that much, but I kind of get a little overconfident. I'm mostly focusing on his tank assault here, as I'm getting a little concerned with the fact that he is moving up on my front here. I try successfully to kill most of his tanks here, as he's trying to now push to my flank as it's the only avenue of attack he has left. Use artillery to quickly deal with his mortar crews. He's now in a pretty desperate situation. His ally over here is not doing any better for the most part or so. My teammate's doing a good job, though. With some good rocket shots, he could have easily probably just wiped out this entire force here. I use my Panzer IV here to kill most of the half-tracks in this area, just alleviate the suppression on my defenses over here. my leader quickly, despite having his turret pointed the other way, manages to one-shot this Panther here, just because this guy over here, while he has 5 accuracy, he's a leader. He has so much experience with using that weapon. I bomb his infantry positions because I'm just tired of them at this point. He somehow sends all his forces up here against my tank, and my tank just one-shots one after another. My ally's now using MLSs on his clustered forces there. And overall, the victory is pretty much assured. Really nothing you can do at this point. His engineers are holding me back, unfortunately. Launches this attack here. I think I used an interceptor to kill that P-38. And then launch a massive Ju-87 attack, which manages to kill yet another Sherman. He's now down to 2 tanks in his front. He's taken massive amounts of casualties. He's calling a Ju-88 to kill the AA pieces here, which works. It kills one of them and suppresses the other. And now he's absolutely vulnerable, so I call in another Ju-87, and I'll deal with the rest of the tanks here. Managed to kill the tank destroyer, and I think the Rhino gets killed by either my Stug or my Ju-87 on a second pass. Anywho, we have the situation here where I'm trying to move up, but he has so many half-tracks over here that I cannot get my infantry up to finish them off. So every attempt is basically a failure, as his engineers and air support are just wrecking my infantry as they try to advance. It gets to the point where I think I just call in an airstrike at Ju-87 or Ju-88 to just bomb the area. My ally is doing an okay job holding the position. Kills a bunch of Shermans. Well, it's odd. With armor, he should have went with the Jumbos, actually. Kind of a failing on his part, as these Shermans are gonna not really stand any chance. Well, ally he'll just... or his ally. Oh, here comes the airstrike. Boom. Anywho, this teammate over here, so... well, basically the allied team as a whole continues to just waste air support, which is interesting. He loses a huge amount of his fighters throughout the entire match. And it's at this point here that I finally move the Stug 4 up, and this entire area is secure. There's really nothing they can do at this point. I have the idea to move in, but I realize that it's going to be basically a useless cause, and it's a better idea just to help my ally out here and gain this ground. Somehow my Stug ends up losing this little skirmish here, which is weird. The battle's basically over. I learned a nice ability where I can literally put my Nebelwerfers on a supply truck, basically have it tow the Nebelwerfer to make it faster and easier to relocate after firing. And the Nebelwerfer is actually pretty good, apparently, at killing these open-top vehicles here, because open-top vehicles are more susceptible to high explosive damage. So as you'll see in a second, my rocket barrage is actually able to kill one of these destroyers here. It's pretty nice. Also, I stopped bombing his positions here. I think I killed one of his rocket artillery. He brings out his last P-51, and I send in both of my Focke-Wulfs to kill his P-51 in quick order. And if the match would have gone on any further, I would have relocated my Nebelwerfers to this front and probably wiped out everything here. But as you saw, one of them always surrendered, and the other one left as well, resulting in a pretty good victory. I did better than my teammate, but my teammate did pretty he did a pretty good job, I would have to say, basically. And despite the initial losses I took, I managed to pull through and win in the end, which was pretty nice. Overall, I had a fun time with this game here.